Hey everyone, and welcome back. You know how much we love to dig into those inspiring ideas that pop up online? And, sometimes a single quote or a quick story can really make you think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes those bite-sized pieces of wisdom pack the biggest punch.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're going deep on an analogy from Coach Zibu, Coach Zibu.
Yeah, I've seen his stuff floating around, motivational speaker, life coach, that sort of thing.
Right, right. Lots of morning thought kind of
hmm
posts. And he shared this really interesting analogy about personal transformation.
Oh, I like analogies. They can be a really great way to understand complex ideas, make them relatable.
Totally. And this one is all about comparing our lives to the Israelites' journey out of Egypt.
Yeah.
Leaving a place of comfort, but ultimately, not the best place for them.
Okay, yeah, I see where this is going. So, like, leaving behind our comfort zones, even if it feels scary.
Exactly. But there's so much more to unpack here. So the first thing Coach Zibu talks about is leaving Egypt. What do you think he means by Egypt in this context?
Well, I think it's safe to say Egypt isn't a literal place, right? It's more like a symbol for something holding us back. Maybe it's a job that's draining your soul,
Okay.
or a relationship that's just not working anymore, or even just a mindset that's keeping you stuck.
It's interesting. He even talks about being thankful for leaving Egypt behind,
Yeah.
like celebrating that step, even though it can be hard.
Mm.
But isn't it human nature to kind of cling to what we know, even if it's not good for us anymore?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, change is tough for everyone, right? Even when we know something's not working, it's still scary to let go. There's this need for stability, like our brains are wired to seek it out. So even if a situation is bad, at least it's familiar.
Yeah, it's that devil you know kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Coach Cebu really emphasizes that getting out of that Egypt, whatever it is for you, is like the first step to real transformation.
It's like breaking free from those chains. It's that initial leap of faith that sets everything else in motion.
Okay, so let's say we've taken that leap, we've left our Egypt. Coach Zebu's next stop is the wilderness. He talks about the importance of our mindset during this time. This is where things get really challenging, right?
Yeah, the wilderness represents those inevitable trials and tribulations, the growing pains, the setbacks, the moments you just want to give up.
Oh, yeah, I know those moments all too well.
But it's also the time when we grow the most, right? Like a plant pushing through the toughest soil to reach the sunlight.
Coach Zebu specifically mentions renewing your mind during this phase. What do you think that looks like in practice?
Renewing your mind. It's about challenging those negative thought patterns, that voice in your head that says, you can't do this, or what's the point?
Yeah.
It's choosing to focus on the positive, to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than roadblocks.
I love that. It's about that inner strength and that resilience.
Absolutely. And I think it's about having a vision for what you want to achieve and holding on to that even when things get tough.
Which brings us to the final hurdle before reaching the promised land, the Jordan River. Coach Zebu suggests that crossing the Jordan will be a breeze compared to the inner work of the wilderness. Why do you think he makes that distinction?
Well, think about it. The Israelites wandered in the desert for 40 years. They faced all sorts of obstacles: hunger, thirst, enemies, self-doubt. But crossing the Jordan, that was the final push. It was symbolic of entering a new phase, a new chapter.
So he's saying that if you can overcome those inner demons in the wilderness, the external challenges become less daunting.
Exactly. Once you've done the hard work of changing your mindset, of building resilience and strengthening your resolve, the actual steps to achieving your goals will seem much easier in comparison.
Okay, so we've faced our fears, journeyed through the wilderness, we've crossed the Jordan, we've finally arrived at the promised land. What does this promised land represent in this analogy?
Well, I think it's different for everyone, but ultimately, it's that place of fulfillment. It's achieving those dreams you've been holding on to. It's about living a life that's aligned with your values and your purpose. It's about that feeling of, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be.
But it's not just about arriving, right? Like, we have to put in the effort to build and cultivate that promised land.
Oh, absolutely. The promised land isn't a passive destination. You don't just stumble upon it and then everything is perfect. It takes work. It takes continuous growth and learning and adaptation.
Coach Zebu actually uses the word inherit when talking about the promised land, which to me implies an active role.
Yes, it's about taking ownership, taking responsibility for creating the life you want. And it's a continuous process. Even once you reach a certain level of success or fulfillment, There's always more to learn, more to grow, more to achieve.
Wow, what a powerful message. So basically, Coach Zibu is telling us that true transformation is a journey. It's about leaving behind what no longer serves us, embracing the challenges that come with growth, and ultimately creating a life that is truly fulfilling.
Exactly. He's given us a framework for understanding our own journeys, a way to see those tough times as opportunities for growth rather than setbacks.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. And as you reflect on this analogy, think about your own life. What Egypt might you need to leave behind? What challenges are waiting for you in your wilderness? And most importantly, what does your promised land look like? Remember, the journey might be tough, but the rewards are worth it.
And don't forget, sometimes the biggest obstacles are the ones we create for ourselves. So be kind to yourself, keep moving forward, and never stop believing in the power of your own transformation.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.